Howdy, y'all. My name is Frank Salas. I go by the name The Talented Mr. Salas. Thank you for joining me on tonight's masterclass. We're going to talk about how to offload the work that you hate to your assistant. I am going to introduce you to myself here in a bit, but first and foremost, let's get talking about business real quick. So what is delegation? Delegation is, as defined by Merriam-Webster, the entrustment of a task or a responsibility to another person, typically one who is less senior than oneself. So you have a subordinate in your organization, you would typically delegate your busy work or workload to them so you can be more productive and advance the mission or sales or growth of your business. That's what the delegation really means. And everybody hears this. Everyone hears this like, okay, I know I need to delegate. I know I hear this all the time. Every millionaire says that they delegate and they don't do everything on their own. And you know this, but you just don't know where to start. If that's you, you're in the right place. But before we get to that, I want to talk to you about a few promises. So my promise is I'm going to show you in the next 45 minutes how to offload the work that you hate to your assistant. That's my promise. Your promise is that you're going to close all of your tabs, close all of your browsers, silence all of your phones for the next 45 minutes, learn and apply this. That's your promise. Can you guys do that? If you guys can do that, type a 1 out in the comments down below. You guys are ready, willing, and able to take notes. And as you guys are typing in your comments, I want to let you guys know that if you stay to the very end, we are going to get you a delegation checklist. So we got some participation from Annette out in Munich, Germany. We got Gil Van. We got Jennifer Dixon out in Charlotte, North Carolina. Absolutely. I just got a comment from Mahogany D who says, my emails are always the best. I open them. I'm asking for a lot. I know I'm asking for a lot, but turn off Empire. I know it's election time in America. Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton are debating tonight at the time of this particular recording. Go ahead and stop that because this is going to help build your business right now. So go ahead and share this out live on Periscope and Facebook Live if you're watching this live. And if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you share this out to your people if you find some value in this. So getting started, this webinar is for you if you're overwhelmed with work. This webinar is for you if your to-do list includes tasks from last week. Let's be honest with ourselves. How many times are you constantly rolling over your to-do list task to the next week and the next week, and it goes from every month to another month? Big shout out to Natasha out in New York City. If you're a one-man band, a solopreneur, a wantrepreneur, and you're doing everything yourself, this webinar is for you. If you're up late at night working on the nuts and bolts of your business, this webinar is especially for you. And if you cannot onboard 10 new clients right now without having an operational meltdown, this webinar is specifically and exactly for you. I'm going to show you how to be able to grow your business while still being on top of things. It's a very important skill to have. This webinar is not for you if your operations are frictionless. This webinar is not for you if you can scale your business at will. Your operations can handle an influx of customer. This webinar is definitely not for you. If you have standard operating procedures, this webinar is not for you. And if you have a workflow to all services and products you offer, this webinar is definitely not for you. Thank you so much for Maggie Ray Finley out in Wisconsin for showing some love. She said she'd rather listen to my webinar than watch any debates at any time. And Roger over at Millionaire Talk says SOPs are crucial to build any multi-million-dollar empire. And by the way, guys, my name is Frank Salas. I go by the name of The Talented Mr. Salas. I'm a live streamer. I love broadcasting live on Periscope, Snapchat, Instagram stories, Facebook Live, and I go by the name of The Talented Mr. Salas. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I currently own 7 international businesses. I'm a digital nomad traveling the world, and my primary marketing method for every single one of my business is social media. My life right now is like this. I can travel anywhere. I work anywhere in the world with Wi-Fi. I have multiple streams of revenue. I'm a social media consultant, a real estate professional, a professional speaker, a podcast host, a Periscope producer, a tribe leader, an author, Huffington Post contributing writer, emoji expert, digital product creator, a yoga addict, and a cigar aficionado. I love stogies. My business right now is automated business operations. I have a team of assistants serving me. I have the ability to maneuver in any marketplace however I so choose. And I have a system in place to keep things organized. I have a bunch of checks and balances in my operations to keep everything stable. And I have a digital employee manual for my employees to best know how to serve me and my business. I also have standard operating procedures in my business, which really helps me scale and grow. And we're going to talk about all of these things here further. So if this interests you, you're in the right place, guys. But I got to keep it real with you guys. My life wasn't always this way. My life was not always this way. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm going to share a lot of personal stories with you. And if you're picking up what I'm putting down, just let me know in the comments. If you're watching this on the replay, let me know, hey, Frank, I really resonated with what you had to say. I know we just met, but let's get personal. Before we get personal, I want to ask you guys to share this out on Twitter, invite your followers on Periscope, and share this out on Facebook, especially if you're catching us on the replay. Share this out on YouTube. So check this out. This was my life. I was 22 years old. I had 2 businesses. I had 3 dogs that were basically my kids. I had a longtime girlfriend. We lived together. We were basically married. You know, I had 3 cars, and I was, you know, most people would call me successful, but that was on the outside. On the inside, I was, you know, not having the best amount of sleep. There was just a lot of work going on. I was always stressed out. I was always nervous that something wasn't going down. My business owned me. I did not own my business. And very specifically, I remember one time that I was watching TV or watching a movie with my girlfriend at the time, and I was so stuck into thinking about business that she had to literally snap like this for about 3 minutes straight just to get me to come back to earth, because I was off in space somewhere thinking about, okay, who's handling this? What's going on with this operation? What's going on with here? And if you guys can relate, let me know by putting a 1 down in the comments below. If something like that has ever happened to you, where you were just so absorbed in your business, where you straight up neglected the people around you. And, you know, that was one instance. And check this out. I didn't really think too much of it at the time. Typical guy, right? So the next day, I actually come home from putting like another 20 hours into my business. I come home, and my girl has all of her bags packed. Straight up. And fellas, if you've ever been in this situation, holla if you hear me, okay? If you've ever come home and your girlfriend or your lady or your boo thing just has all her stuff packed and she's got that look, and you know that look, especially my fellas, she's got that look like, yeah, you pretty much messed up and I'm this close to leaving. So I did what every guy would do, and I just went over and I said, hey, you know, I'm going to get this thing figured out. You know, stick with me. I promise you, this is the last time that this is going to happen. And, you know, let me figure this thing out, because I can figure this out. Just give me some time. And so she was like, all right. I convinced her to stay. We unpacked her stuff. And then I had a mission, guys. I had to keep this woman in my life. So I have a confession. I have a confession, guys. I was once the bottleneck of my business too, and it was affecting myself. It was affecting my business. It was affecting my personal life. It was affecting so many aspects of my life, and that's because I was the bottleneck of my business. I was, you know, the end-all, be-all. If I didn't show up to work, my business didn't grow. And a lot of you guys who are listening to this right now are in that same exact position. And don't worry, because I'm going to help you out with the rest of this training. It was affecting my personal life, as you guys know. You know, I almost, you know, had a nice young lady leave my life because of my business obligations. And I couldn't go on like this. I mean, it's just something that I couldn't do. I knew this stuff is on there. This is not pre-recorded. This is live, but this will be pre-recorded for some of the Periscope viewers. So can you guys relate? Can you guys relate with, you know, neglecting somebody, neglecting your personal life, neglecting your obligations, neglecting your health, neglecting, you know, other parts of your business because you're just so consumed with doing things that you are, you know, you think you should be doing? If you can relate, let me know. And I want to introduce you guys to the rookie me. So this is the rookie me. We got a lot of people on Periscope so they can relate a lot. So the rookie me had multiple businesses. I was missing family gatherings. I had zero social life. I was up late. I was up early. I was sleep deprived. I was not working out. I had no yoga. For those of you guys who follow me, you can know that I love yoga, especially on a rooftop or a beach. I had to eat all of my meals in 5 minutes. I didn't have time to eat. I literally didn't have time to eat. I just had 5 minutes to eat. So you know how the army guys go to the cafeteria and just chow down their food? That was me everywhere that I went. My to-do list ran for weeks, and my life was not really the best part of existence at that point in time. I just, was so overwhelmed. It was not a good look. I did not own my time. And if that describes your life right now, if you can relate to that, please let me know, because I made this training specifically for you, and help is on the way. I wanted to work less, make more money, and have more time for the things that truly matter in life. And so for me, that was beaches, friends, family, and cigars. For you, it could be something else. Everybody is on this earth to create their own lifestyle. You can do that very quickly here in 2016. So I wrote my goal down, and this is what I literally wrote. I want to make more money for every hour that I work. I want my time to be truly valuable, and I want to work less. Here's the first thing that I did. So take out your notes, guys. This is where your note-taking skills come in handy. The first thing that I did was I wrote down everything that I did. I checked to see if what I was doing was making me money, and I split it up into 2 lists. The first list was a money-making list. The second list was a no money-making list. So just to recap, we got 2 lists. You want to split it in between what are the things that are making you money and what are the things that are not making you money. Very simple. Make it easy. And honestly, guys, I was shocked and I was embarrassed. I really was. 80% of the tasks that I was doing was not making me money. 20% of the tasks that I was doing was making me money. So here I am, running all these businesses, neglecting people in my life. And when I was neglecting people and not taking care of myself and the people around me, 80% of my time was devoted to not making money and being busy. Only 20% of my time was making me money. And I was, quite frankly, shocked and embarrassed that I neglected the people in my life for busy work. It was very embarrassing, honestly. So it reminded me of the old 80-20 rule. The old 80-20 rule. And here, for those of you guys who are not familiar with the 80-20 rule, here's the 80-20 definition. Everything, roughly 80% of the effects come from 20% of the causes. So for example, 20% of the professional football athletes come from California, Florida, or Texas. 20% of the world's wealth is in, one particular city in, this particular part of the world. 20% of the, world's beef supply comes from this country, and so on and so forth. You can find the 80-20% rule in every single aspect of life, and this is called the Pareto principle, so I strongly recommend for you to look into this. This is true in everything. You're going to see 80-20 everywhere you go. So I immediately handed tasks to my assistant that was in the 80%. So if it wasn't making me money, boom, that was the first thing that I handed off to my assistant. And that's the first thing that I recommend for you guys to do. I only focused on the 20%, and this is a very simple formula. When you focus on the things that make you money, you're going to make more money. I'm going to say that again because it might have missed you. When you focus your time on the thing that makes you money, you're going to make more money. And Gilvan is asking for my notes. Yes, if you're looking for my notes, you can go to my private Facebook group, The Talent Tribe, or you can go to www.talentedmrsalas.com, and you can find all of my presentations there. And so there we go, revenue generating activities. So RGA stands for revenue generating activities. And let's break this down. Revenue, for those of you guys who don't know what revenue is the lifeblood of every single business, guys. Your business needs revenue. If you are running a business right now and you don't have revenue, I hate to be the one to tell you this, you don't have a business, you have a liability, you have a loss. Any accountant will tell you to shut your business down. You are fundamentally not practicing, good business, and you should shut down immediately. So this is what focus on to our second word, generating. Even though you may not have revenue right now, you can generate revenue right now. And the way you generate revenue is by focusing on the final word, activities. The activities that make you revenue. So focus your time on RGA, revenue generating activities. And if you have any questions about RGA, what it's like and how to identify them, make sure you go to www.talentedmrsalas.com. I've got so many free resources on how to identify what your RGA is. And of course, time equals money. Focus your time on RGA to make more money. Focus your time on revenue generating activities to make more money. That's why you always hear people who are rich say time is money. Time is money. Mark Cuban, Richard Branson, so many people who are billionaires, they would never spend time being the janitor at their business. They would never be the receptionist at their business because it is literally beneath their pay grade and their value to their business. And their value is growing that business to hire more janitors, to hire more secretaries, and to provide more value into the marketplace and into the world. So let's talk about the first stuff to outsource, the first stuff to hand off to your assistant. So the first task that I handed off to my assistant was social media management, and very specifically, and here's where you guys want to take notes. I handed off scheduling posts. So going into Hootsuite or going into Twitter or Edgar, Buffer, Post Planner, all of these scheduling tools. I just gave that task to my virtual assistant. I said, you know what? I realize that social media is the biggest time suck of all time online, and I don't want to spend my time, and more time necessary than social media, because social media is very profitable. It's very advantageous to build your brand, to generate leads, to connect with your audience, to get feedback. And that's what you should use your time on social media for. You really shouldn't use your time to focus on the back end, unless you're looking at analytics, but even then that can be outsourced, and I'll talk to that here in just a little bit. So the next step up is content curation. So content curation is different from content creation, where you don't have to create content. You can find a really informative blog that is truly a resource to your audience, and you can go through and have your assistant find those high-performing or viral-worthy blog posts and put that out into your audience and your tribe amongst all your social media channels, so they can then share that out for you. And now what that does is it has a proven article or blog that you did not have to create, that is now being dispersed and distributed amongst all your social channels, so you get more eyeballs, so you get more followers, which turns into more leads, which turns into more sales, which means more revenue, which means more working capital, which means more working capital to invest back into your business to blow it up. If I'm making sense, put a 1 down in the comments below. If you haven't already shared this out, invite your followers, share this out to Twitter. Let me know how it's going down. I know I have some technical difficulties and I froze for just a little bit, but I really appreciate you guys sticking with me on my coconut Wi-Fi. Hopefully the recording's great for you guys. Let me know on YouTube. Up next is your graphics. You've got to get your graphics in order. You're not an artist. Let's be real. A lot of us like to make pretty things, but you're not an artist. Your value to your business is not going to Canva or Adobe Spark or even Photoshop if you're skilled like that. That stuff, making graphics, takes time, and you should be having your virtual assistant do that. Thankfully, there's free tools, $0 and 0 cents right now, that you can have your assistant go and watch a 20 to 25-minute YouTube video at YouTube University and watch and how to make the perfect Canva graphic. And when they make that perfect Canva graphic, guess what? You want to make a template. So here's a bonus tip for you guys. You want to make a template of your podcast shows, of your webinars. So if you look at all of my Instagram posts or my Pinterest posts, there's a certain template that my VA can switch out different things, and we've got certain fonts and colors and guidelines and designs that we stick around so we can quickly make graphics. And numbers are everything, especially if you're going to leverage social media and market business online. You got to know your conversions. You got to know your retentions. You got to know your unsubscribes. You got to know your likes and your engagement. Now, getting all that information is very, very time consuming. You need that information, but you don't necessarily need to go out and scoop up that information. That is something that you don't need to do, and your assistant should do that for you so you know what's working and what's not working so you can best serve your audience. Up next is your engagement. I get so many messages on Facebook that my VA would definitely to connect with people. They'll respond for me and say, hey, want to let you know that we've received your message. This is Frank's assistant. We're going to get this out to Frank and check this out, and we'll get back to you. And now they're like, okay, it's good customer service. They send a request. They got a response. They know it's going to take us some time to get back to them. We've explained that there's a process to communicating with us, and they don't feel like we dropped the ball, and now they're very anxious to talk to us the next time. So answering messages is huge. Again, social media is a time suck. There's so many unqualified people that are going to ask and demand your time that it's best for you to really filter those leads and qualify those leads through your assistant, so you're only spending your time talking with people that are truly going to be able to work with you and are able to take those next steps with you. So that's the first time suck. So just to recap, social media is the biggest time suck of all time. Outsource it completely and follow my material all on social media at Talented Mr. Salas, because I really focus a lot of my material on how to delegate and how to growth hack your social media practice with a virtual assistant. Up next is email. Man, guys, email is such a pain. I probably realistically get about 500 to 700 emails a day. No joke. I'm sure you guys get the same. And here's what immediately you want to do: clean up that inbox. First and foremost, tell your assistant to go to your inbox and unsubscribe to newsletters that don't serve you. And I'm talking about Banana Republic, guys. I'm talking about The Gap. I'm talking about Forever 21. I'm talking about Netflix. I'm talking about Amazon. All of these newsletters that are not serving you, that are asking for your money, that are asking for you to spend your resources from your business that you should be investing into your business. You don't need to spend your time with that. You don't need to spend your time entertaining those thoughts, because there's this thing called the death of 1,000 paper cuts. And I'm going to break down this process. This is an extra bonus for you guys. The death of 1,000 paper cuts is this. Your brain, as a human being, you have a certain amount of mental stamina. And if you have to decide on, okay, do I want to take a soy latte, a latte, or a coffee at the coffee shop, that is nicking away at your decision-making capabilities. If you have to decide, okay, on my way to work, if there's traffic, do I need to make a left or a right? That decision is nicking away at your decision-making capabilities. Same thing with emails. Imagine all the emails that come to your brain subconsciously. As an intellectual human being, you have to use some portion of your brain to read those emails, and that is nicking away at your mental stamina, which nicks away at your decision-making capabilities. Now, do that enough in a 24-hour cycle, or even an 8-hour work cycle, which is unrealistic for most of us entrepreneurs. Guess what? By the time it's time to make that high-level decision that's going to change your business, you will not be as mentally prepared as you normally would have if somebody else would have handled those little things. This is why I take Uber. This is why I get my groceries delivered. I'm going to go into that a little bit later in the presentation. I'm getting a little ahead of myself. If you're picking up what I'm putting down, make sure you share this out and invite your peeps. But I wanted to talk to you a little bit about how to organize your inbox a little bit and why it's so important. So you want to organize your inbox into separate folders. So okay, these are newsletters that do serve me. Like right now, I'm getting really big into copywriting. And there's a few people that I'm following on their newsletters to see how their copywriting is done and any offers they may have to me. So I have a copywriting folder on my inbox. Then I have a folder of virtual assistants that want to work with me and work with my clients. I have an entire folder there. So if I need somebody, I can just say, oh, hey, who do I know in this? Who do I know in graphics? Who do I know in web? Let me go ahead and see if they're available for work. I have a folder for my podcasts, for my interviews, for my media, and so on and so forth. It's much more organized that way. Then I have my assistant create templates. And when my assistant creates templates for my email, it's like we have a specific template for how to get on podcasts, how to request people to be on my show, how to follow up with the lead, and so on and so forth. I have my assistant follow up with all of my prospects. And this is huge, guys. Scheduling and confirming appointments is one of the biggest time sucks on email, because it's like, okay, hey, what time works for you? Hey, what time works for you? What time works for you? And it's like that back and forth that is really not going to serve you and your business, and it's going to make doing business with you a little impractical, and people just might not like that. So having your assistant professionally schedule and confirm your appointment is going to make your life so much easier, especially if you're meeting with clients, doing any consulting, doing any proposals. You get to spend that time that you would have scheduled and confirmed on that appointment on better serving your client. And that's an extra 30 minutes to an hour that you get to focus on that client to win that contract, guys. Holla if you hear me. If you're picking up what I'm putting down, let me know by typing a 1 down in the comments below, everybody. And here's a bonus pro tip as you guys are getting your comments in. I really appreciate the support, everybody around the world. Here's a bonus pro tip. So thank you so much, Jiggy. Thank you so much, Annette. Thank you so much, Gil. Really appreciate that. Jennifer and Annette, you guys are amazing. So here's a bonus pro tip. Streak is a email management system in your inbox, and this is going to allow you to easily manage this, and it's going to allow your assistant to go in there and focus on your inbox and making it very organized. So to recap, you want to outsource your social media and delegate your social media busy work first, and then have your assistant go after your email. That's really going to help you out. Now, finally, guys, this is where it's really going to pay off, and this is where it really gets good. Let's talk about upgrading your lifestyle, and this is where I really get excited, if you can't tell by now. So I focus as much, literally as much amount of my waking hours that I possibly can on my business. I don't drive. I have a driver. I take taxis. I take Ubers. I ride public transportation. My hands, instead of being on a steering wheel, are better served on my phone, building my empire, following up with leads, and creating content. You know, that is where I bring the most value to my business right there. So I don't even spend time on my phone opening up Uber and calling an Uber to go take me to the mall or to the gym or wherever I need to go. I don't spend any of my time doing that whatsoever. I have my assistant go in and they call up an Uber for me, or they call up a taxi for me, and I don't handle anything. My assistant will send me a message 2 minutes before they arrive and say, hey, Frank, I usually live in condos. Hey, Frank, they'll meet you in the lobby. You should probably be headed out now. And so when I get that message from my assistant, I just lock up, walk out, and I get to spend more time focusing on building my business. So that might be 5 to 20 minutes that I don't, invest in my business, but that adds up. Let's say I do that 5 times in a week. That's an hour a week, 4 hours a month. 48 hours in a year. That's an extra 50 hours that I get to invest in my business. What could you do with an extra 50 hours in your business? How would that make your bottom line go up? Who could you network with? What kind of client calls could you go on? What kind of sponsorships can you get? The domino effect and butterfly effect really does add up. So up next is I have a maid. So I don't handle any of the housework at all, and I don't even call up my maid. My assistant is in direct communication with my maid, and she informs me when my maid comes in to come and serve me. So she's like, hey, your maid's coming in at 9 o'clock today or at this time today. And because I don't have to call her, I just know that things are going to get cleaned up and everything's going to be spick and span. I don't spend that time even calling or confirming that my maid's showing up. And if she's not showing up, my assistant then has a protocol to then go call up my number 2 maid and my number 3 maid, just so my house can be clean and I don't have to worry about that. So that's a whole fire that I don't have to put out. I don't have to deal with that at all. And that's what I really love, and I find a lot of stress-free hassle in something like that. So dry cleaning, this is very helpful for me. I wear a lot of suits. I do a lot of presentations. I sell a lot of real estate, and I have a lot of suits. I have a lot of clothes that require maintenance. And for me to go to the dry cleaning store or the shop, or to even call up somebody for them to pick it up, it's just too much of a hassle. And my assistant calls up my dry cleaners to come pick it up from my doorstep to handle all that. And I don't have to worry about it. It just gets done. I just say, hey, I send a text to my VA from my phone, and I say, hey, I have dry cleaning to be done, and they do it. Up next is grocery delivery. Now, guys, this is where you're really going to get your mind blown. Let's go ahead and let's go and talk averages. So on average, if you live in a first world country, it's going to take you anywhere in the world about 20 to 30 minutes to get to the grocery store. It's going to take you 20 to 30 minutes to get back to the grocery store. This is including traffic, parking, X, Y, and Z. That is an hour of your day. That is an hour of your week. And if you have a big family or you eat a lot like I do, that might be even 2 to 3 hours of your week. And that really, really, really adds up. That's not even taking into consideration the time that you spend in the aisles picking up the same exact foods. We're all creatures of habits, and we all eat the same things. Every one of us has the same aisle, the favorite cereal, we get the same type of eggs, the same type of milk. Why is it important for you to go there and pick it up yourself? Because then you got to deal with the lines. And I don't know about you. All right, hey, sorry for the technical difficulties. I'm on the coconut Wi-Fi here very quickly. We're talking about grocery delivery, and I don't know about you, but every time that I go to the grocery store, I get stuck behind that old lady who still writes checks, man. This lady is still writing checks, and I get stuck behind her, and she's like, how much is that, sweetie? And she's like writing with her fingers that are about to break because her bones are so damn brittle because she's so damn old, and she's trying to write a check in the year 2016. And then she's trying to balance her checkbook and use a coupon at the same time that she got from the newspaper. And I'm just trying to go home and work on my email list or write a blog post or work out or do yoga or smoke a cigar or do something like that. So, as you can tell, I hate being in the grocery store. I absolutely hate it, and I would rather get my groceries delivered to me. And the way that I get my groceries delivered to me is, down in the South, where I'm from in Texas, we have a store called HEB, and they have an application that my virtual assistant downloads. I have a set list. She, goes, do you want the usual, Frank? And I say, yes. And you know what? I'm having people over. Can we have an extra 2 bottles of wine? Can we do X, Y, and Z? Blah, blah, blah. Can we get some wine? Also, I need to up my calories. Can we throw in double the chicken or triple the eggs or something like that? I just tell her what I need, and then she just puts it in the app, and then an hour later, it gets delivered into my doorstep, and I don't have to deal with all of that. So that's a bunch of time that I get back. Now, also reservations. I entertain a lot of clients. I have a lot of friends. We like to go out to nice places and talk business, smoke cigars, enjoy ourselves. And calling up a restaurant to get reservations, that does take some time. And, it's very easy to let it slip. And then, like most guys, this is for the fellas for sure, we wait to the last minute and we're like, oh, let me call that reservation. And by the time we call it up, I'm sorry, sir, our reservations are booked for the evening. And now you told your girl you're taking her to True Luck Steakhouse in downtown Austin, Texas, and you got to take her to Red Lobster. And she's like, all pretty dressed for True Lucks. You guys are going to Red Lobster getting the cheddar biscuits. You know what I'm saying? Fellas, holler if you hear me. Same thing for movie tickets. You save all that time. DVR, my virtual assistant, always makes sure that I get my Game of Thrones and The Walking Dead recorded and my Cowboys games recorded so I can then watch that anywhere in the world. All of my travel plans and my booking for my travel plans are booked by my virtual assistant, so I don't spend time, even looking for the best price, looking for the best rate. They kind of know when I like to leave, how much I want to spend, and so on and so forth. And the biggest time save and the lifestyle upgrade that I get for my assistant is price shopping. So every one of us does it. Like right now I'm in the market for a drone, and I'm trying to find the best drone for the best price, and I want to compare, and I want to see which one is which, and that takes some time. So what I do is I just say, you know what, assistant, why don't you handle this? I give it to my assistant, and they handle all that for me. So that saves me so much time, and I keep bringing up time, but time is so freaking important that I can reinvest back into my business. So here is the $1 million question. What are you going to do with all of your free time? What are you going to do with all of your free time, guys? Are you going to travel? You now have more time for travel. You now have more time for vacations. You have more time to go to different conferences, to go speak at different events. You have that time now. You can also take up new hobbies so you can spark that creativity. I'm always a fan of if you're not growing, you're dying. And you also need new skills, and your best skills come from your hobbies. You're really good at what you like doing, so why not find out what you're really good at and take on more hobbies? You have more time for friends and family. You got people around you. You want to make sure that you invest time with them. As we all know, life is very precious. Gil says that he would travel the world helping poor families, especially kids. That's his passion. You know, a lot of people want to give back. You'll have more time to give back. A fulfilled life sparks genius creativity, guys. A fulfilled life sparks genius creativity, and that's what we all want to provide. So you and your business can grow from a stress-free, relaxed frame of mind. And the time that you now spend working is more productive. Your mental stamina is fresh and quick, so you can make better decisions for your business, and so you can make more profitable decisions for your business. You will make more money, and you will spend less time working inside of your business. And if that's something that you're looking to do, let's say that again, if you're looking to make more money in less time without working inside of your business, then you guys definitely have to follow me. You got to follow all of my content. This is exactly what I'm about. Invite your friends and tell them to follow my content as well, because once you start focusing on that, you can focus on your business growing. If you're not on the inside of your business, you can be on the outside of your business, working on your business to build it, to make it grow. And, you know, what are you waiting for? Why have you not outsourced? I truly want to know. Let me know in the comments down below. Send me a tweet at Talented Mr. Salas. Send me an email. You know, let me go to my website, go to my blog, leave me comments. What are you waiting for? What is stopping you from outsourcing right now? There's so much life to live. There's so much beauty out there. There's so much greatness for you to achieve. What are you waiting for? Are you waiting for a sign? Well, if you're waiting for a sign, I do have assistance for hire at www.talentedmrsalas.com. And Gil says he doesn't have enough money on the budget. If you go to talentedmrsalas.com and you get on my list, I'm going to show you exactly how to hire assistants offshore and overseas starting at $2 per hour. If you're in a first world country right now, you have to realize that you are in the top 0.01% of the world's wealth, and you can really leverage your currency to get out there. So there's your sign. And I have a confession. For those of you guys who are asking about VAs, make sure that you reach out to me personally, because at the time of this recording, I do have a special offer. If you're watching this at a later time on the replay, go to www.talentedmrsalas.com, and you can check out the content that I have there for you, and the offers that I have for you there. Now, finally, guys, I have a confession. I wrote this on my iPhone in 45 minutes before this webinar was scheduled. So that's my confession. I wrote this on my iPhone as I was having breakfast on a rooftop, sipping a nice espresso, having a nice cigar, and I sent this as an email to my virtual assistant, and she put it all together in 45 minutes. Because we have templates, because we have a system, because we have standards, procedures, and we have it written down, she knows the style, she knows what I'm looking for, and we're able to move extremely quickly, and I don't have to do this. So if you're looking for that bonus checklist, the delegation checklist is on my blog at www.talentedmrsalas.com. I hope you guys can join me there. For those of you guys who are joining us on the replay, this is where we're going to sign off. For those of you guys who are joining us live, I want to go ahead and open up some time for some Q&A, and you have direct access to me, so you can ask me any questions that you want about outsourcing or working with assistants. Again, if you are not following me, go ahead and find me at www.talentedmrsalas.com and everywhere on social media at Talented Mr. Salas. It's been my pleasure serving you.